Greetings, everybody, from the beautiful city of Lexington, Kentucky. It's the USL Championship tonight as Lexington SC out of the Western Conference play host to Rhode Island out of the East. Sean St. Jacques, Ryan Davis, our entire crew, great to have you with us. It's the first ever meeting between these two clubs, so a little bit of the unknown heading into a pretty important fixture for both clubs tonight. Ryan, we start with players to watch. We begin with Lexington and Philip Goodrum, who's looking for his first goal of the season.
And he's all class, Sean, but he hasn't scored a USL Championship goal so far for 2026. Chances are being created. They just have to find a way, which is the hardest thing to do in this sport, to get him to get the ball in the back of the net.
61 career league goals. That's top 20 all time in the league's history. Speaking of chances being created, Leo Afonso's done quite a bit of that for Rhode Island. Again, missing that goal.
And he's versatile, right? So he's going to pull out to the right or pull out to the left, which allows the centre forward like a JJ Williams to roam free. I think Leo Afonso, the more we've seen him play so far in this season, the better he's gotten. I think tonight is one of those nights where he gets on the score sheet. We're
just in week 6 of the USL Championship season, but this game means quite a bit to both teams. Look where Rhode Island are in the East at the moment, in 12th. Jacksonville lost earlier, so they can't finish the weekend in the bottom spot, but they could fall off the pace quite a bit here with a defeat.
His chances gonna miss, and those start to catch up with you. The wins turn into draws, the draws turn into losses, and that's what happened to Rhode Island. They've done everything so far metrically in the attacking end, but put the ball in the back of the net. Tonight is the night. You gotta stick your foot in the sand and say today's the day. You go no further down.
In some ways, it's pretty similar for Lexington. They could find themselves out of the top 8 if results go against them and they don't pick up 3 points.
They feel hard done of not getting all 3 points against Colorado last week. Now they come back home to get their home cooking. They want to get on the ball, possess. They want to dictate the tempo. Could be a big night for them tonight.
In some ways, it's an early litmus test for both teams in their respective conferences. Rhode Island's looking for their first league win in 2026. They need it badly. Lexington, in their own way, trying to get back on track and stay in the top 8 until the early months of the Western Conference playoff chase. We'll have lineups in kickoff from Kentucky when we come back.
Lexington, start your engines. It's match day. Genesis of Lexington is proud to partner with Lexington Sporting Club, delivering craftsmanship, performance, and premium experience on and off the field. From kickoff to final whistle, we're investing back in the community that fuels this club. Ready to make your next move? Step into class and experience luxury evolved at genesisoflexington.com. Genesis of Lexington. Drive the difference.
This isn't just a soccer match. It's a movement that brings the city together, brings it to its feet. The noise.
Wind up effort. Oh my goodness!
The energy.
It is Firmino!
90 minutes where nothing else matters.
How about a debut goal for Lexington?
It's the year of the horse. Our year.
Eps inside. Benton!
Be there when it happens.
This is where worry turns into relief, where confusion turns into answers. This is where your family can turn to the experts for the big things and the little things. Extraordinary care is right here. UK Healthcare, the power of advanced medicine.
Lexington Sporting Club isn't just a team, it's your club. That's why you need the LSC credit and debit cards only from Commonwealth Credit Union. With your LSC card, you get exclusive discounts on tickets, merch, and get to celebrate your club with every swipe or tap. Show your Lexington Sporting Club pride and gear up with the ultimate fan accessory only from Commonwealth Credit Union. Here, we see you differently.
Sean St. Jacques, Ryan Davis, our entire crew counting you down to kickoff in the first ever meeting between Lexington and Rhode Island in the USL Championship, a game that both teams really could use to help turn their league form around in these early days and months of the season. We dive right into starting 11s. We start with Mac Hemme and the hosts, Lexington.
Look out for number 6, Malloy. He's the guy who's going to pull the strings with Firmino right off his shoulder. And what about Ferry earning more playing time with the performances he's put together in the early part of the season? But Epps and Goodrum, they have to produce in the last third, have some adventure and create chances and convert. They've only converted 8% of their chances all season long.
It's been one of each result so far for Lexington at home this season. Here's the Rhode Island 11 for Cano Smith in search of their first regular season win of the campaign.
Well, Sanchez back at left back, no Darcy, the hard man at right. But JJ Williams set the tone for this team. He's the emotional leader. He presses, he gets into people's spaces, he's physical, and he lays the ball off for people like Afonso, Kazera, and Hostad to then provide chances for Rodriguez and company.
Well, it looks like Lexington will kick us off. They'll be going from left to right. They're in their green and black kits. Rhode Island are in their road whites, and of course are in search of their first win of this 2026 campaign. There's going to be a little bit of the unknown to some of this as well. It's a first ever meeting between these two clubs, but obviously because of some of the players involved and teams that they've played for in the past, Philip Goodrum with Louisville, Aaron Malloy with Charleston, for examples, that will be showing some of the familiarity and some of the success that Rhode Island have had against those two clubs in the regular season and the playoffs in years past. But more importantly, time is of the essence even this early in the season. It's not quite obviously desperation time, but Rhode Island could really use these points. It could be kind of a game that turns their season in the right direction. And for Lexington, with all the money they spent during the offseason, there have been glimpses of the quality that we could see from them throughout the season. Have we seen enough of it? Could we see more of it tonight?
Look, man, everyone who follows sports knows that a team is like a living, breathing organism. You can bring all the right pieces in, but can they gel together? And speed of play, Sean, is the ultimate symptom of a team gelling together. This Lexington side at home tonight have to increase their speed of play in the attacking third to create enough chances to be the protagonist at home and get a victory. Rhode Island, the polar opposite. They understand they're away from home. They understand Lexington wants to boss this game. They're going to sit tight. They're going to sit compact and try to counter-attack.
Off we go from Lexington SC Stadium. Again, Sean St. Jacques, Ryan Davis, our entire crew. Certainly one of the more intriguing games this week in the USL Championship. A bit of a litmus test for both teams. Rhode Island currently in 12th in the East, hoping to avoid a 5-match beginning to the regular season without a win. Lexington have their first win under their belts this campaign, but with one of each result being their early home form so far, they are hoping for more. Expectations would tell you that they expect more to this point in the regular season as well. Pressure here from Quizera. Rhode Island trying to make Lexington work for it early, but the hosts play their way out. We can also dive right into today's keys to the game. They're brought to you by Toyota, and certainly Lexington being at home, that's going to put some pressure on them to answer the call as Holstead plays that across and it's picked up by Zemlai.
Take care of the fortress. We talked about missing that opportunity to get 3 points on the road against Colorado. If you take care of home, if you be the dictator, if you set the tempo, your fans get behind you, and in the long run, that's only going to benefit your team. As for Rhode Island,
chance here briefly for Lexington. It's stood up into the middle. It's going to be hooked clear by Frank Nodarse. Had a really strong performance against Detroit last week. Got to the USL Team of the Week for that as well.
Sean, I'm not sure if he meant that, but that looked very cool. He just kind of flicked the ball around the player and got back possession.
This slithers through for Philip Goodrum. And Brandon Stevis, our head referee, points for a Lexington corner.
Just to finish off Rhode Island's key, composure is the key in the last third of the field. You can create as many chances as you want, but to tuck it away, he has to have a sense of calmness about them to convert those chances.
It's really been a problem that both teams have had these early weeks and months of the season. Look at the conversion rate for both teams. Rhode Island are at 8%. That's the third lowest in the league. It's a Commonwealth Credit Union corner for Lexington. Koke Vegas punches to the edge of the area. Adeno-Kun's shot is blocked, and Rhode Island clear through Quizera. Chance to pick this up for Lexington. Blaine Ferry for Jacob Green.
Good early sign for Rhode Island, defending that set piece. So important to shrug those off.
Lexington's conversion rate not much better, just 10%. That's the 5th lowest in the championship so far. So the chances have been there, but both teams have left some on the table, to say the least. Referee points there for a goal kick. 1 or 2 Lexington shouts there for a penalty. Adado Kuhn maybe tried to sell it. The referee wasn't buying.
And I love this matchup. Marcus Epps' speed and Sanchez is just as quick. He gets a piece to it. Looks like that may have been a corner kick. Maybe that's what Epps is appealing for, but this matchup tonight is delicious.
The front three that Lexington has, Epps, Goodrum, Adado Kuhn, pretty darn impressive, but again, the conversion rate has just shown that they've left some opportunities on the table for Matt Hemme so far. Well, if any team's left chances on the table, it's been Rhode Island so far in this campaign. We highlighted earlier, Leo Alfonso leads the league in shots. Look at the amount of chances they've created in total, whether it's been shots or shots on target. They just haven't been able to hold their nerve. And as Quizera possibly found a gap here, Holstead commits a foul, and that Rhode Island attack fizzles out.
Yeah, it was inadvertent, Sean, but because Holstead's trip did take away the defender, it's no way the referee can allow that to slide.
Here come Lexington down this far side. There is the aforementioned Marcus Epps. Fits a pass in there. It was a difficult angle to get the cross away. It was cleared by Karifa Yao. And Lexington looked to try to reset there, but the referee has acknowledged the assistant. On the far side, it's out for a Rhode Island throw. We've examined some of the things that Rhode Island need to work on. The good news for Conno Smith's men, that's 2 games in a row in all competitions with a clean sheet. The big win in the Derby in the Open Cup against Hartford, and then a 0-0 draw at home, and quite a physical tussle with Detroit last time out as well. But the longer they go without that first league win, the more it feels it could weigh on Rhode Island as the season progresses. Particularly with other teams like Louisville, Charleston, and others already trying to give themselves a gap between Rhode Island and others that are not in the playoff 8 at the moment.
Tampa Bay Rowdies, they're going from strength to strength.
Yes, they've been perfect. 4 wins out of 4 for Dom Casciato's men.
They play Oakland Roots tonight at 7:30 p.m. All eyes on that.
That will be a good tussle as well, because Ryan Martin and Oakland have been off to a pretty strong start as well. Another good cross-conference fixture along with ours tonight.
Yes. Sanchez scored in the Open Cup just about 10 days ago against Hartford. It just shows he's one of those busybodies for this Rhode Island team that Coach Smith just adores.
J.J. Williams using his size and strength to win the header, but it's well recovered by the Lexington record signing, the Irish international, Aaron Malloy.
I tell you what, we just saw 2 of his set pieces so far from the corner kicks, but his deep line playmaking right here, he dictates the tempo, he dictates where the ball goes. It's so instrumental.
Gorgeous feed by Malloy up ahead for Goodrum. Sometimes you wonder how Malloy makes some of those passes. It's like he's doing it in his sleep. He's so good at it at this point. He plays this one square, but it's a good step defensively from Rhode Island. That was Pity Rodriguez. And then J.J. Williams gets on the end of this for Rhode Island. Can he go all the way here? Looks for the angle, and the shot is saved by Zemle. Could he done a bit more there, J.J. Williams? I will say it was quite the effort.
Sean, I love it though. True number 9. He had one thing on his mind: get past his defender, left foot, right foot, get a shot off, test the goalkeeper. J.J. Williams showing that DNA of a true striker.
So many times in the last few seasons when Rhode Island's been in a rut, they turn to J.J. Williams, and more times than not, he pulls through.
He seems to be getting better with age. So many times we've seen him fall short of his ability, but not in Rhode Island.
Great take here by Jacob Green, the former Columbus Crew product, but he ends up losing out. Rhode Island defensively are able to slam that door shut and just about clear it down this near side.
Ooh, Pity Rodriguez has to bring that down. That's a counter-attack for the ages. He gives the thumbs up, but I know his coach is brewing on the sidelines.
not to single any player out, but Pity Rodriguez has been a player that has constantly gotten himself in good positions for Rhode Island, but time and time again has struggled to find, let alone the back of the net, struggled to hit the target at times.
Had some great opportunities against Miami 2 weeks ago, but he was stopped by another Rodriguez, the goalkeeper.
Yeah.
But it just showed that Pity Rodriguez, the little man from Lanús, he can pop up just about anywhere, and he's so good on the ball, Sean. He's one of those players like Afonso. If he gets going, look out.
Goodrum tried to hold up the play. This is Firmino out wide. The drive into the penalty area by Epps. He spoons it across for Green. And it was just a whisker out of reach for Jacob Green, and it bounces out of play. Mac Hemi, along with the rest of the Lexington supporters, appreciate that build move.
Well, Coach Hemi was saying before this match, there were too many ideas in the last third. Marcus Epps just puts the ball into the mixer, keeps it simple, and there was Green, a right back, doing what right back should, appearing at the last post. And boy, did he want that.
Great shot there at the reaction from Mac Hemi. Well, Masaki Hemi, formerly of the New Mexico United coaching staff a few years ago, then was the Lexington head coach in the Gainbridge Super League. Did so well there as well. And now it's his first season as the head coach with the Lexington SC men's side. And there's been a lot of early promise, but again, because of the expectations, with the amount of money they spent, the quality of players they brought in, there have been questions of when is Lexington going to turn the corner? Obviously, they hope that it's tonight.
And you know, it's a league, right? So there's a lot of games to be played. There'll be the Prince Cup coming up this midway through this, the end of this month. Of course, US Open Cup just wrapped up for a couple of these teams here. So there's so many games to be played to find your sea legs, as they say. But I think this Lexington team, they didn't convert on those 3 points last week against Colorado, but they're showing signs of turning the corner in becoming a real team to look out for in the championship.
Lovely take there by Firmino. First time ball in by Epps, it's touchdown, and then a critical recovery by Clay Holstead. Epps then follows up, sends it out for a goal kick. Very important recovery and intervention there by Clay Holstead, or Lexington could have found an avenue through.
But Holstead is an absolute gem in midfield. He's a two-way midfielder. He gets back, picks up his defensive responsibilities. If he wins the ball, he has the technique and the ability to turn that into attack. I would say, when it comes to most valuable players, Holstead, top 3 for Rhode Island.
Koke Vegas will clear the lines for Rhode Island. It just skimmed off the top of the head of Hugo Bacharach.
And boy, did they miss Bacharach against Detroit last week.
The Miami red card, yes.
Yeah, he's so good on the ball. He's that modern-day Spaniard centre midfielder who controls the pace of the game. Those long legs, he brushes off tackles, so he can control the ball in traffic, which makes it easier for everyone else around him.
Out for a throw, and there's Cano Smith. He's been Rhode Island's coach every year of their existence. 2 phenomenal playoff runs in each of the last 2 seasons as well. Obviously got to the final in his first season, played for the conference championship last year as well.
Well, the standard has been set.
Oh,
Rhode
yeah.
Island.
No questions about that. Remember, they got to the Eastern Conference Final as the 7th seed last year. Quite impressive, as that's just going to be out of reach here for Lexington, just over the head of the former Louisville man, Philip Goodrum.
Well, thumbs up for Goodrum. Again, Epps just keeping things simple, gets it on his right foot and clips it towards the last post. Remember Green a couple of minutes ago? They're really just trying to make things a little bit more methodical in creating chances in the attacking third.
Williams is going to be fouled there, free kick. LSC fans, visit lexsporting.com to get your latest Lexington SC news, merchandise, and discounted ticket offers. That's lexsporting.com to find out more today. Some defensive work needed here from Lexington. That's Blaine Ferry out to the far side. The control from Epps in tight quarters here, but it's deflected off of Rodriguez into the path of Leo Afonso. Afonso gliding towards the byline. The cross is going to be caught by Zemle, and Lexington get to reshuffle the cards.
Early signs for the Brazilian. He plays like a number 10. Yes, he has the 8 on his back, but he can go right or left. Here's that press working out for them. But he starts to drive the ball down the heart of the field. He's taking responsibility, Sean, and that's what you want to see in your players like Rodriguez and Afonso. Doesn't work out there, you keep trying, one's going to come through.
Yeah, we've seen 1 or 2 pressing moments from Rhode Island, and they've led to promising attacking moves so far. This time J.J. Williams will be the head on the presser here.
Well, Coach Hemi talked about this press, and he does not want to cower away from it. He wants to go through the midfield, get the ball to Malloy.
Jacob Green did so well initially there, then he does give the ball away. But then Lexington wins it back. Firmino for Epps on the far side, waiting for more green shirts to join in. Epps off a deflection is going to see it roll out of play. And it's a goal kick after what could have been a promising move for Mac Hemi's group.
Well, he's in the thick of things, Marcus Epps, and he should be. He has that tricky speed, change of pace, 29 career assists in USL Championship, which means he sharing is caring for Epps. He wants to buy space for himself and then create for others.
Now then, Malloy off a takeaway, and then he gives it away. That was another good chance for Lexington. Now Rhode Island's turn. Leo Afonso on the near side, cuts in field, gets past Green. Leo Afonso still going into the penalty area, and then there was just enough green shirts back to stop him.
We just saw Afonso's run just before that. He's trying to get himself into the game yet again, taking responsibility, driving the ball down the heart of the defense. Again, Sean, they stop him there. What happens is the one time they don't stop him?
Reset for Rhode Island with Diop on this near side. Nearly 16 minutes gone. Both teams have had, again, their fair share of looks.
Good tackle.
And Malloy nearly wins it back, but his pressure leads to Goodrum trying to test Koke Vegas. We know Vegas can be off his line quite often. It came up short, although as Brandon Stevis maybe brought this back for a free kick on the follow-through.
God bless number 9s and all their families. J.J. Williams, we saw his shot testing the keeper before. Look at Goodrum here. You know what, guys? I'm going to have a crack from 40 yards out to try and catch Koke Vegas. And that's okay, Sean. You want your number 9 to have that mentality. You don't ever discourage that.
If there's any player that's involved in the build-up around really the whole league, it's Koke Vegas. You maybe have that in the back of your mind if you're Philip Goodrum there.
Well, Koke Vegas has so much experience in the La Liga area of soccer, and they play very offensive type goalkeeping where they're very possessive with the ball, and you can always catch them just pushing off the line just a little too quickly.
Adeno Kuhn down the line here for Jacob Green. Adeno Kuhn a second time. Dancing on this near side, 2 men on him. And in the end, Rhode Island are able to win the throw, and really strong defensive pairing there with Holstead and Sanchez.
Well, this is what got them to the finals 2 years ago, then the conference finals a year ago. They're gritty, they're disciplined, and they're compact.
It's the first meeting between these two clubs. It's also, for Rhode Island, their first game versus a Western Conference team this season. This is going to open up here for Rodriguez for Rhode Island. They have 2 men over. Rodriguez cuts in field. Leo Afonso plays it out to the far side. Quizera. Jojea Quizera gets into the penalty area here for Rhode Island. Oh, and nearly found Williams. Bacharach's follow-up attempt is blocked, and it's out for a Rhode Island corner.
Well, it was all very fortunate for Rhode Island. Brooks lost his footing, which allowed them to counter-attack. And good tackle in the end, coming from Ferry, who's been really showing up in his positioning in 2026.
Two massive moments there. The blocking of Williams' attempt and then the Bacharach follow-up. And ricochets out for a corner. It will be Pity Rodriguez to deliver for Rhode Island.
J.J. Williams is and always be the target.
It's played towards Nodarse and nearly fell for Karifa Yao before Goodrum is able to spoon it away.
I love the delivery by Rodriguez, so right just in front of the penalty spot, giving his centre-backs a chance. So many times people get cute with corner kicks. Pity Rodriguez nailed it.
Whether you're headed to the next match or your next road trip, step into class and experience luxury performance with Genesis of Lexington.com. Genesis of Lexington, part of Don Franklin Auto Group, proud partner of LSC. We've had some pedal to the metal moments in these opening 20 minutes nearly gone here in Kentucky. Last few minutes, you could argue Rhode Island have really started to find their footing.
I mean, it's entertaining, right? Both teams are actually going for it. Rhode Island, you can understand coming into here, Lexington, with their tails up in the air, coming back to home. But Rhode Island has matched them step for step, and like you said, even had the better chances so far in the first 20. And that all starts from a solid foundation, staying compact defensively, roaming in the center circle, and then playing counter-pressing.
Dado Kuhn, again, trying to link up with Jacob Green on this near side. It doesn't quite pan out for Lexington there. We were talking a bit before the game about the success that Conno Smith's teams have had against Charleston in years past. Why do we bring that up? Well, the focal point of those Charleston teams is this man, Aaron Malloy, and he's kind of been that focal point at the start of this season for Lexington. And would we expect Conno Smith to maybe break out an old game plan of trying to slow him down and maybe in the process slowing Lexington down?
Well, Malloy, and this is the ultimate compliment, he's a Xavi type player who gets on the ball just behind the center circle and starts to get the ball, this is very important, in stride for the players going forward, not with them facing with their back to the goal. When their midfielders and wingers get the ball in front of them in momentum, it really creates opportunities for in the attacking third.
Rhode Island turnover at Lexington again. It's Sanchez! Oh, it's a screamer! Altair Sanchez with a rocket into the back of Lexington's net. And Rhode Island take the lead in Kentucky with some finish.
Well, they're 6th in the league in shots, Rhode Island. The conversion rate is woeful. Here's the counter press. They break up the play in the attacking third. Sanchez didn't ask for permission, Sean. He let it rip. And I tell you what, when you continue doing the right things over and over again, that counter press pays off. And Sanchez, who scored in the Open Cup, he's full of form, he's full of confidence. And what a banger to get Rhode Island on the board. But it all starts with the defensive cohesion in the attacking third.
You mentioned Sanchez scored in the Open Cup. It's his first USL Championship goal for Rhode Island in his second season with the club.
And what a time to get it. They're struggling. They don't have a win for this season. Many people will say, oh, Ryan, come on, it's not a big deal. You haven't had a win so far, and you're now in your 6th game of the season. That's a big goal to get, because now Lexington has to chase.
And in some style, that was a rocket.
Rhode Island SC goal in the 22nd minute by number 3.
Dado Kuhn's not able to get onto this, and it immediately bounces out for a goal kick. The Lexington fans don't appreciate the announcement of the goal, but my goodness, it was some finish.
And it's those type of goals that can really light a fire under the rest of the team. They saw the effort it took to break the play down, to win the ball back, and then to have a cracker like that from Sanchez. I mean, wow. Oh.
Lovely build-up again here from Rhode Island. Lexington could be in some trouble here. Afonso cutting in on his right. Oh, and it's just shoveled wide by Zemle. Did not look convincing at all from the goalkeeper. He does just about enough. It's a corner.
We love the attitude by Afonso. He does not want to give up responsibility. That's very Brazilian of him. But boy, did he have Holstad on his left shoulder making that run. Yes, hindsight is 2020. But you want to see a counter-attack like that, though, really come to fruition after it was so well executed by J.J. Williams with that fantastic touch.
Well, it's safe to say that Rhode Island are trying to take this momentum and run with it here. Another corner on the far side, Quizera to provide the delivery. Quizera's ball comes up short. Malloy clears it only as far as Rodriguez. Quizera whips it right back into the mix here. No, Darcy's glancing header is going to bounce wide and out of play.
All right, let's switch our eyes to Lexington here. They really, really want to have a good sequence here, Sean. When they say a good sequence, whip the ball up in the attacking third, get a shot off, get a dangerous cross in, get their team back in the game emotionally.
Here is J.J. Williams for Rhode Island. It's just behind the intended target. And it allows Nick Firmino and Lexington to get back into possession here. Malloy tries to spray it towards Adeno Kuhn, who wins the header ahead of Sanchez. And it's nudged down to Vegas.
Sean, it was so funny that you brought up possession. Lexington now has 68% of the possession after 25 minutes. They've been bossing the play, but Rhode Island, when breaking up the plays in the middle of the park, and you and I kind of touched on this before the match, this was the DNA of the match. Rhode Island sitting compact, away from home, counter-pressing, creating chances from the press.
Well, cheers to local beer. Wessex Brewing is proud to be the official craft beer of LSC. Find their locally crafted beers all around the state of Kentucky. Head to wessex.com to visit one of their dynamic tap rooms. Learn more about the Stadium Ale, the official craft beer of Lexington SC.
Now, you have to say that Kentucky is very diverse. They've been known for their whiskey and bourbon, and now they're known for their craft beers.
Talk about hitting all the notes, dare I say. That's an overhead kick into the path of Sanchez here. It's got to be filled with confidence. Referee waves on advantage. J.J. Williams sprays it out to the far side. Jojea Quizera shapes up for the shot. Oh, and it squeezes through. Zemle could not come up with it, and Jojea Quizera gives Rhode Island a 2-0 lead in Kentucky. How about that?
Well, he scored for Rwanda on the international break, and he had an assist. Since Coach Smith has put him on the right-hand side, look at this turn by J.J. Williams away from traffic. This was all starts to play. But now he becomes a goal scorer rather than a provider. He tests Zemle. Zemle, of course, a backup keeper. And boy, goes right between the wickets. And that becomes of the, again, the positive play by Rhode Island, doing the little things over and over again. And of course, they can dance. But Quizera now becoming a goal scorer rather than a provider on that right-hand side.
His team leading second goal of the season. And Rhode Island, when they hit their heads against the pillow last night, could not have dreamed of a better opening 27 minutes and change.
I mean, they sat 21st in goals scored out of 25, with 4 goals coming into the season, into this match. Well, they've hit 50% of their goals in the first half of this match. They scored 2.
Talk about an improvement in front of goal. And to be fair, both of them have been long-distance strikes. Obviously, the second one has a little bit more to do with Zemle than the accuracy of Quizera.
I'm going to give Zemle a little bit of fault for both. You have to take care of your first post, even with Sanchez's strike.
Fair enough.
Have to take care of your first post, but it was still an incredible strike. I don't want to take anything away from it. Quizera's own lack of concentration, maybe the ball knuckled, we're not sure. But yeah, you got to save that one.
Well, if Lexington were given an early hammer blow, this one's put them between a rock and a hard place here. Specifically because Rhode Island have been so stellar defensively so far this season. Now they have a 2-goal lead to protect. And as you rightly know, Ryan, we know how that happened, how that ended, I should say, for Hartford in the Open Cup. The answer is not well.
That's right. I mean, this Rhode Island team is so desperate to get in the win column. They're going to defend with all their might.
Lexington have the pieces to try to build back. It's the hold-up play from Goodrum. Lovely ball in behind here. Chance to finish. Oh, great block. No Darce. Didn't know the offside flag was going to go up. He denies Marcus Epps anyway.
What a pass. Heads up play to the back post. There's Marcus Epps creeping through. We can't tell if he was onside from this angle, but you love the adventure by Lexington, taking their time, Epps making the late run, and the ball was passed right on a dime.
Williams wins the header out of the air for Quizera. Quizera keeps the ball in play down this far side, and then tried to poke it through to keep it alive for No Darce, but commits a foul. That'll give it right back to Lexington.
Sean, we have a good one. Because Lexington at home, again, almost 70% of the possession. They want to stay on the front foot. And of course, Rhode Island, who've been so disciplined defensively, waiting for them there at that imaginary second, third line. Right there is it is the line of confrontation, and they're doing such a good job of breaking up the play there. And when that play is broken down, 2 passes, you're into the box, and you're in on Zemle.
Look at this, Williams has 2 challenges. Oh, and Zemle saves. May have used his head quite literally here to make a brave stop for Lexington. They're gonna have to look at him as he tries to recover, though he's right back up onto his feet. That's a critical stop.
It is the hardest job in football, playing goalkeeper. You're on an island. JJ Williams just rips 2 defenders to shreds, uses right on the side of the head. That's like a right cross in boxing, goes down on his back right away, and he's gonna have to get that checked out. I mean, we talk about concussion protocol. It means nothing if Zemle is not checked out.
To be fair, I think Brandon Stevis, our referee, was trying to wave the Lexington medical staff on. I think they may have waved him off, and Zemle is back up onto his own 2 feet. But to your point, Ryan, always better to be safe than sorry in those kinds of moments.
I mean, he hit the back like a sack of potatoes after that ball hit him on the side of his head.
Zemle will keep an eye on him, looks to be right back into the action here. In many ways, Lexington are trying to get back off the mat at the moment. Anytime they've tried to play through this Rhode Island press since the first goal went in, it has been incredibly difficult, and it wasn't very easy even before that.
Well, they want to play through the middle with Ferry and Malloy. And Rhode Island is forcing them out wide. You're forcing them out of their comfort zone in building the ball up through the sides rather than through their creative playmakers in the middle of the park.
And forcing passes like that, which are not high percentage looks.
I think it was the old Bill Belichick philosophy: beat me with something that you're uncomfortable doing. If you're going to beat me with something you're not used to doing. Yeah.
Vega spoons that over the top for No Darce. And then No Darce tries to pick out J.J. Williams, who loses out this time. Lovely ball back into the path of Goodrum, but then Goodrum maybe was rushed into making the pass and is dispossessed. And then Quizera didn't have his head on a swivel on the back end.
Again, you look at the shape with the 2 forwards, P.T. Rodriguez and J.J. Williams, forcing the action and that press up top. And then look how compact the white shirts are in the middle. They know exactly where Malloy is, they know where Firmino is, and they know where Ferry is.
That was Hafferty down the far side. There is Ferry, hounded by Bacharach. And Bacharach nearly helps to win that back, but it's Malloy who steps in, now Firmino. Rhode Island are really strong right now in the middle of the park. Lexington could still find an avenue of attack here. Dado Kuhn on the near side, but he's forced back over the halfway line.
And that's a win for Rhode Island. Fantastic defending yet again.
The USL on CBS Sports Network kicks off April 18th. Eastern Conference Showdown, Charleston and Tampa Bay, 3 p.m. Eastern. April 18th, CBS Sports Network. Offside flag goes up here against Marcus Epps. He disagrees, and so too the Lexington faithful.
Well, Marcus Epps made that run from pretty deep, so that means this Rhode Island backline has to be very, very high. And if there's one person with quicks to get behind that high backline, it's Marcus Epps. But again, Sean, if you're going to be a wide player, there's no reason why you should be caught offside. You have full view of the last player back there, the center back. You should always be in line and know exactly where he is.
It seems at the moment that Rhode Island have the answers for all of Lexington's questions. Little slip there from Goodrum. It leads to a takeaway.
And we saw Burks slip in this area over here, which caused Quizera to counterattack about 10 minutes ago.
Good hustle by Clay Holstead to keep it in play. Back for Zemle. This, at the bare minimum, forced Lexington to try to play through Rhode Island's press again. This puts Zemle in a dangerous situation. He gives it away. Another chance here for Rhode Island, and the shot is going to be blocked away. Afonso tried to slither it through. Ordonez and company do just about enough. Zemle, again,
what a ball,
is able to play through for Malloy. Now Ferry tries to lead Lexington forward. It's played out to the far side. Marcus Epps going right at Nodarse. Epps skins him, puts it into the middle, and it's deflected. Out for a Commonwealth Credit Union corner. Much more like it from LSC.
Well, the press worked to perfection. Afonso is getting closer and closer to goal. But the distribution to Malloy to start the counter-attack was perfection. And of course, Marcus Epps 1v1 is impossible to stay in front of.
Just under 10 minutes plus stoppage time left in the half. Some physical, well, at least appearing to be physical moments inside the penalty area. Afonso goes down and blames Marcus Epps for that. Brandon Stavis calls for calm. Malloy from the corner. There's good arc underneath it. And the header is going to go out of the area on this near side. Quizera pushing a chase, and he's pushed out of bounds. Referee rightly plays advantage. Rodriguez has real estate to run into. Jacob Green recovers. Rodriguez is able to get past him initially. Green stays with him. Rodriguez tries to play it back for Sanchez. Jope. Hugo Bacharach. As Rhode Island look to build towards another attempt here. Bacharach surveys the scene, does have Karifa Yao behind him. Jope has to be careful there. Again, there is some Lexington pressure. Nodarse. All things considered, Lexington handled this situation rather well. They forced Rhode Island back to Vegas.
Again, another good sequence for Rhode Island. They've been spending a lot of their time pressing, defending. Now they get a chance with J.J. Williams to create an attack from right here.
Williams does so well, wins the header. And finds Pitti Rodriguez. This is Sanchez, the goal scorer. Well, the Lexington fans are booing him now every time he touches it, I guess because of how good the goal was.
Yeah, exactly right. That's a compliment.
Lexington again, they won it back for a split second. Bacharach plays it ahead. Leo Afonso for Jojea Quizera. Back for Leo. Afonso looks for the angle. Forced to turn around, he clips it into the middle for Williams, and Williams, was he brought down? Sanchez back into the middle for Bacharach, who couldn't get the shot away. Williams is still down. Rhode Island, we're asking for a penalty. Dado Kuhn for Lexington. Striding on this near side is fended off by Afonso and has to reset for Green.
Well, just when you thought Afonso missed the window of opportunity. He releases the ball to J.J. Williams, point blank. And of course, Williams was fouled by the defender, but it shows the creativity of the Brazilian.
Williams is still slow to get up. And there were 1 or 2 shouts here for a Rhode Island penalty. Tough to tell from that initial angle if there was contact that impeded J.J. Williams to try to volley the strike out of the air. Brandon Stavis did have a pretty good look at it, didn't think there was enough to impede him, and obviously allowed play to carry on.
Yeah, you have to allow some contact when the ball are forward and the defender collide. So I don't think it was a penalty. I think it's an excellent bit of defending by Green. Sanchez did a great job dragging it back, but there was a missed kick again on top. I believe it was by Afonso.
Watch the USL Championship in Spanish on 2DN, nation's leading Spanish language sports network. Go to uslchampionship.com for the complete USL TV listings. Not sure Rhode Island want this half to end. They've been playing so well. And it carries on here with Afonso.
Oh, what a tackle.
And Goodrum, of all people, with a striker's challenge, except it was spot on. Lexington still have work to do here. The pressure from Holstead, trying to pin Kendall Burks back, and Burks does what he can.
Well, we say forward, set the tone defensively. We didn't mean this. Philip Goodrum coming all the way back and putting some mustard on that tackle. Look at this. Right through Afonso.
How many times have we seen strikers completely make a mess of that?
Yeah.
Goodrum gets it absolutely right, and Lexington still have it on the near side.
And Rhode Island get a chance to press again, get shape, get formation. And here they come, white shirts.
Bacharach wins the header. It's cushioned down for Quizera. Now Sanchez, who he tried to play it square for Holstead. It was cut out by Blaine Ferry. Zemle out to the far side. More good pressure from Quizera, who nearly won it back, but it was recovered by Joe Hafferty in the nick of time.
Sean, everything has gone to plan. Lexington has had the lion's share of possession. They have been trying to dictate the game. Rhode Island have come onto the road, seen exactly what they're trying to do, come through the middle with Malloy, with Ferry and Firmino. They've blocked that off. They've counter-pressed on more than 3 occasions and created chances from the counter-press in the middle of the park. I think Connor Smith has gotten the game plan perfectly.
And there could be more on here for Rhode Island. Rodriguez off the feed from Williams. Rodriguez tries his luck. And it ends up going wide, and he gets a talking to there from J.J. Williams. There could have been more on.
Yeah, we want to see that play extended by Rodriguez. He had Quizera to his right shoulder. J.J. Rodriguez again in the thick of things. Here's Quizera making that run. You want to see, you love Rodriguez's adventure, but you still had one more pass left in that sequence.
Nearly a chance to thread the needle here. Oh, and it's a frustration foul. Goodrum clearly pushes in the back here. Hamri Job handled it perfectly defensively there for Rhode Island. Wins a free kick for Connor Smith's men.
Well, positioning is everything for a centre-back. And he read the play perfectly, Diop. Got his body in between Goodrum and the ball. Again, like you said, frustration foul. And they're still going.
Well, Job tried to maybe mess around with Goodrum. Oh, Goodrum's pushed him now not once but twice. Not maybe feeling the love from Job here. Well, listen, obviously you wouldn't expect the referee to pull out a yellow card there, but Philip Goodrum knows better than that, particularly to do it twice right in front of the referee.
And I don't see what Diop did wrong. He did everything right.
It looked like they were trying to sort of reconcile the moment,
so
and Philip Goodrum wasn't having any of it. Although I must say, we've seen some moments like that from Goodrum in the past.
You know, some players need that emotion to get going. And I think Diop did a great job in just sort of keeping things quiet and kosher. But I think Goodrum needs more than that to get going.
Ball is sprayed again onto this near side for Adedo-kun. They've tried this outlet, Lexington, quite often, and quite often it hasn't worked. Rhode Island have just been so stout defensively. That's what we were talking about earlier. Rhode Island have been good defensively when they haven't scored. Now they've got a 2-0 lead to protect.
Yeah, I'm just going back to the G-up thing again. That show of emotion by Goodrum as a defender, I know I have here. I know I'm in your head already. Yep, there it is again.
And he's going after them again here. Those two tangle once more. And obviously Brandon Stevis is going to have to keep a close eye on that. Obviously Goodrum, you could also say, is trying to fire up his teammates.
Correct.
But there is a line that you cannot cross when doing so.
Diop will do well to stay disciplined, to stay calm. His team is up 2 goals to the good. And it's Philip Goodrum who has to chase the game, not Diop.
Ferry and Malloy stand over this. Chance for Lexington to get back into the game before we get to halftime. Ferry whips it in.
Good delivery.
Great header towards Epps, who didn't quite react quickly enough, but he's back on the ball here. Gets away from the Holstead attempt. It's played to the edge of the area here. And Rhode Island smother the attempt.
Look at the disciplined defending shown.
Rhode Island are everywhere here. It's clipped back into the middle. Good header away again. And Quizera tries to provide the outlet. Malloy and then Sanchez loops this over the top. Quizera trying to fight with Malloy to get there. And the bounce doesn't go Rhode Island's way as we're into 3 added minutes at the end of the half. Adedo-kun for Ferry. Ferry plays a lovely ball to switch the point of the attack out to the far side. Firmino. Marcus Epps trying to cut inside, and no, Darcy does so well for Rhode Island. Times it perfectly. Epps ends up clipping him on the follow-through, and it's a Rhode Island free kick.
Well, Darcy has done this time and time again. At left back, at left centre back, at right back tonight. He gets in the way of Epps, he uses his positioning perfectly. He gets a piece of it, and Epps, being out of control now, has to just stab at it and give up the free kick.
Well, Select is proud to be the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship. From grassroots to the pros, Select is there every step of the way. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select product specials and more. Select is the player's choice. Still a couple of minutes left in the half. Rhode Island have scored goals from Sanchez and Quizera to take a 2-0 lead, first ever meeting between Lexington and Rhode Island in the USL Championship. And here comes Sanchez again. Rhode Island clearly filled with confidence here. J.J. Williams. Ball falls kindly here. Leo Afonso clips it out to the far side. Quizera on the byline. Trying to find more space here. Quizera sees it deflect towards Bacharach. Then Malloy treads on it and was fouled by Quizera right at the end of the sequence. And Lexington get a free kick. And that will take us into the final seconds of the half. Hafferty puts on the brakes. Here is Aaron Malloy for Jacob Green. Now Michael Adedo-kun clips it into the middle. And again, Rhode Island have the answers defensively. Green tries to win this back. Williams got a piece of it, couldn't get possession.
How good is J.J. Williams? Every time they need to get the ball out of the back, he provides that outlet and then flicks it off to one of the attacking midfielders in Pity Rodriguez or Afonso.
Malloy. Adedo-kun will be the last action of the half here. Adedo-kun chops it back, looks for Malloy. It's just underneath his boot, and as Holstead clears, that's the end of the half in Kentucky. A dream first half for Rhode Island. We said coming in they'd struggled in front of goal, particularly in the league. Well, they rectified that in the first half. Sanchez on the score sheet, Quizera on the score sheet.
And they're playing to their strengths, defensive cohesion, and they use that defensive unity and compactness to then create counterattacks further up the field, and that equals shots on goal and eventually goals in the back of the net.
And a frustrated Lexington. We certainly saw that bubble over at times towards the end of the half. We'll see how both teams respond going into the second 45. So far, so good for Rhode Island on the road here in Kentucky tonight. Lexington go back to the drawing board after at times being outplayed on their home patch in the first 45 minutes. Rhode Island 2 to the good at the break. We'll take a look around the rest of the USL Championship when we come back.
This is where worry turns into relief. Where confusion turns into answers. This is where your family can turn to the experts for the big things and the little things. Extraordinary care is right here. UK Healthcare, the power of advanced medicine.
Lexington Sporting Club isn't just a team, it's your club. That's why you need the LSC credit and debit cards only from Commonwealth Credit Union. With your LSC card, you get exclusive discounts on tickets, merch, and get to celebrate your club with every swipe or tap. Show your Lexington Sporting Club pride and gear up with the ultimate fan accessory only from Commonwealth Credit Union. Here, we see you differently.
Lexington, start your engines. It's match day. Genesis of Lexington is proud to partner with Lexington Sporting Club, delivering craftsmanship, performance, and premium experience on and off the field. From kickoff to final whistle, we're investing back in the community that fuels this club. Ready to make your next move? Step into class and experience luxury evolve at genesisoflexington.com. Genesis of Lexington. Drive the difference.
This isn't just a soccer match. It's a movement that brings the city together, brings it to its feet. The noise,
Wind up effort. Oh my goodness!
the energy.
It is Firmino!
90 minutes where nothing else matters.
How about a debut goal for Lexington?
It's the year of the horse. Our year.
Eps inside, Benson!
Be there when it happens.
Halftime here in Lexington, Rhode Island, leading by 2-0. Certainly sets up for an intriguing second half here in the USL Championship. We'll step aside for the moment. We'll have more coming up after the break.
With the field for World Cup 2026 now set, the USL can enjoy its place in the countdown to history. Never before has an active USL player taken part in a World Cup, until now. For the past 2.5 years, more than 30 players from USL Championship and League One battled through World Cup qualifying. This summer, 6 of them have a chance to hit the field for their respective country. Miami FC teammates Eloy Rom and Jurgen Locadia made history, helping Curacao qualify for the World Cup for the first time ever. Curacao will face Germany, Ivory Coast, and Ecuador in group play. And for the first time since 1974, Haiti will take part in the World Cup, following a very unique road through qualifying. 4 championship players, Duke Lacroix and Garvin Matusala of Colorado Springs, Delence Pierre from FC Tulsa, and Carl Sente from New Mexico United, led Haiti through qualifying without playing a home match. Now the Haitian team faces a tough group at the World Cup with matches against Brazil, Morocco, and Scotland. But while World Cup qualifying owned the spotlight in late March, several USL players took part on U.S. youth national teams, also on the world stage. Colton Swan of Charleston Battery scored a goal for the U.S. Under-20 team against Argentina in Argentina. Orange County SC's Tyson Espy played for the Under-17 team in Paraguay. And the U.S. Under-18 team played in Portugal, featuring Ramiz Hamuda from Birmingham Legion, Brandon Days of Louisville City, and Jameer Johnson from Orange County SC.
This week on USL All Access, which championship team benefited the most from the third-round Open Cup draw? Ben Pierman, head coach of the Charleston Battery, becomes the second youngest and second fastest to 100 USL Championship victories. And how about MD Myers? Forward from the Tampa Bay Rowdies joins us to talk his unique career path and what it's like being the main man under Dom Casciato.
The header is down. It's in. Charleston takes the lead and stops.
Nice ball, sends it. Doubles the Rowdies lead.
Prinks Tires in the USL help soccer journeys everywhere to drive harder. From city playgrounds to suburban sidelines, from early mornings to late nights, from fun with friends to winner takes all, from the biggest fan to the biggest heart. And at every turn, Prinks Tires will be there for the long haul.
Pain doesn't care who you are or why you hurt, but pain can be mastered if you know the way. Fight back with Tiger Balm's legendary herbal power. Trusted for over 100 years, our proven blend of camphor, menthol, and essential oils tames pain with the strength and speed of the tiger, so that you can rise above pain and get back to living. This is the way of the tiger.
This isn't just a soccer match. It's a movement that brings the city together, brings it to its feet. The noise,
Wind up effort. Oh my goodness!
the energy.
It is Firmino!
90 minutes where nothing else matters.
How about a debut goal for Lexington?
It's the year of the horse. Our year.
Eps inside, Benson!
Be there when it happens.
Halftime here in Kentucky, Rhode Island 2-0 up in the first ever meeting between these clubs in the USL Championship. Of highlights, stats, and the second half kick coming up shortly here from Lexington.
It is halftime in the USL Championship. We hope you're enjoying your match so far. I'm Dan Lucas inside the USL studio with a look at some of the headlines this week. Charleston Battery head coach Ben Pierman achieved his 100th victory in the championship in Week 5, the 6th coach in championship history to reach that milestone. And that 2-0 win was a big one, Charleston's first ever road victory against Louisville City. We have 4 remaining unbeaten teams: San Antonio, El Paso, Hartford, and Tampa Bay. The Rowdies are the lone team with all wins so far, 4 of them thanks in big part to crunch time. 4 goals scored in the final 15 minutes of matches plus added time, and 5 goals scored by substitutes. So our USL Championship Coach of the Month is no surprise. Dominic Casciato of those Tampa Bay Rowdies. Casciato helped rebuild that roster during the offseason and right now has everything working as planned. National broadcasts coming up in the USL Championship. Charleston Battery hosting those Rowdies next Saturday, and USL Cup El Clamico style, Rhode Island and Hartford. That match is on the 25th. Both of those matches are on CBS Sports Network. We're getting closer to the second half. This is the USL Halftime Update. Let's get you back out to your match.
Start your engines. It's match day. Genesis of Lexington is proud to partner with Lexington Sporting Club, delivering craftsmanship, performance, and premium experience on and off the field. From kickoff to final whistle, we're investing back in the community that fuels this club. Ready to make your next move? Step into class and experience luxury evolve at genesisoflexington.com. Genesis of Lexington. Drive the difference.
This is where worry turns into relief. Where confusion turns into answers. This is where your family can turn to the experts for the big things and the little things. Extraordinary care is right here. UK Healthcare, the power of advanced medicine.
Lexington Sporting Club isn't just a team, it's your club. That's why you need the LSC credit and debit cards only from Commonwealth Credit Union. With your LSC card, you get exclusive discounts on tickets, merch, and get to celebrate your club with every swipe or tap. Show your Lexington Sporting Club pride and gear up with the ultimate fan accessory, only from Commonwealth Credit Union. Here, we see you differently.
This isn't just a soccer match. It's a movement that brings the city together, brings it to its feet. The noise.
Wind up effort. Oh my goodness!
The energy.
It is Firmino!
90 minutes where nothing else matters.
How about a debut goal for Lexington?
It's the year of the horse. Our year.
Eps inside. Benson!
Be there when it happens.
Sean St. Jacques, Ryan Davis back here with you at the half. It is Lexington 0, Rhode Island 2. Great start for Cano Smith's men in Kentucky tonight. Can they carry it over into the second 45 minutes? We'll wait and see how it all plays out. Let's see how it plays. Kind of moments now by the scruff of the neck, and it's led to their advantage.
Look at the amount of shots, 9 shots to 2 with 34% of possession, which means they're lying in wake in that second third, inviting Lexington right to that line of confrontation just before the center circle. Then they start to swarm. They chop the head off of Malloy, Ferry, and Firmino, and then they counter press and go out wide to Quizera and company.
And just as impressively, they've held Lexington to 2 total shots, only 1 on target, despite Lexington having 2/3 of the possession. But that was right in the heart of Cano Smith's game plan.
Correct. Allow the home team to be the protagonist. You be the antagonist. And just the counter press is such a vicious tool to use. And when it comes off, it uses a deadly effect.
Couple of interesting scorelines around the league to take a look at. Detroit won earlier by 1-0. El Paso are humming down the tracks in Hartford. They lead 3-0. Brooklyn are 2-0 up on Charleston, and it's already 1-1 in Florida between the Rowdies and Oakland. And then, of course, later on tonight, some good games on ESPN Plus and CBS Sports Golazo. The Golazo game is San Antonio against Miami, Vegas hosting Sacramento, rivalry game there, bottom left, Phoenix and New Mexico, Tulsa, the Western Conference champions, trying to slow down Danny Stone's Orange County. So plenty to keep your eye on throughout the rest of the night. Plenty for us, Ryan, to look forward to in the second 45 here.
It's why we love the USL Championship. Anything can happen on any given Saturday. And that's why we love to be here on ESPN Plus or Golasso and enjoying these matches. I tell you what though, if you are Lexington, it's okay to push Green up the right-hand side. It's okay to put Hafferty up the left-hand side. Have your Epps and Okadune tuck inside, have the wing-backs come around, and then provide that width. I think that'll be the outlet for Coach Hemi, and maybe that's the space they can use to get around this press.
We were talking off air about how significant of a halftime team talk this is for Mac Hemi and Lexington, considering where they could be at the end of the night. They have a chance to drop out of the top 8. It's so tight in the West already. Get used to that, by the way. It's going to be like that all season. But this is an opportunity for Rhode Island, of course, to get off the mat. If Lexington don't get anything from this game, they all of a sudden could be amongst the teams that are falling off the pace. Again, still early in the season.
Yeah, a lot of desperation. Being back at home in front of your own fans, you want to put on a good performance. The music, the drums are playing in the background. You don't want to be the team to lay an egg in front of your home fans who paid a lot of money to come out tonight to watch you play.
Meanwhile, Rhode Island halfway towards what would be a heck of a statement victory here. First trip to Lexington, their first ever meeting with Lexington SC. They're halfway to what would be a really impressive win, and their first win, of course, in this 2026 regular season as the second half is underway.
They're playing the ultimate villain role tonight, Rhode Island, allowing the home side to come onto them and counter-attacking with speed.
That is an early giveaway from Koke Vegas, where our team switched sides, so Lexington are going from right to left here. They get a header that floats wide in the end from Nick Firmino, and it bounces out of play. Looks like it's going to be a Commonwealth Credit Union corner for Mac Hemi's boys here.
Well, now it's a chance for Adonis and Brooks to push up just beyond that penalty spot by the 6-yard line. Bacharach is going to have to pick up one with that aerial superiority. And this man's delivery is going to have to be pinpoint to try and find Lexington back in this match.
Oh. Malloy's delivery, oh, it was on for Goodrum. Great step by J.J. Williams, who read it. Outside of the boot, ball back in by Malloy. It's headed towards Epps. Epps heads it back into the middle. And again, Rhode Island do just about enough, but it's out for another corner.
Again, outside of the foot, Afonso has to do better here, Sean. Look at that. The Brazilian has to do better. He puts his team in a very awkward position. Second corner given up in succession.
And corners tonight are brought to you by Commonwealth Credit Union. Lexington desperate to find a route back into the contest here. Malloy's delivery had plenty of pace behind it. Great punch by Koke Vegas in heavy traffic.
He took all the pressure off of his defenders by coming out protecting his 6-yard box.
Malloy arcs one back into the middle. Sanchez gets his head to that for Rhode Island. And now Cano Smith's men could be off to the races here. This could be a 4-on-2, but the ball is too firm, played out wide for Quizera.
I think Afonso is still trying to find his legs in USL Championship. He had some amazing runs to begin the first half. He really tried to be aggressive. But some of those passes, I mean, that's a 10-yard pass that you have to pick out. And now it lets Lexington off the hook in just a mere 2-0 game.
It's played through for Malloy. Tried the lovely reverse ball, but Sanchez was all over. Another slippery patch on this Lexington surface there. A couple players lose their footing. It's controlled by Joe Hafferty, but it's going to bounce out of play. It stays with Mac Hemi's group. Well, hometown fans, why go far when the best stay is right here at home? Embassy Suites Lexington Green is your go-to spot for a weekend staycation, a night out, hosting meetings or events or out-of-town friends. Local, loyal, and always game day ready. could say the same about you, Ryan Davis, always game day ready.
Ah, thank you, Sean. I appreciate that. You as well.
And Rhode Island have certainly been game day ready so far tonight. Quizera and Sanchez have provided the goals for Cano Smith's men in search of their first regular season win of the season. Again, particularly where they're playing and who they're playing, it'd be quite a statement.
But isn't it the perfect scenario for Rhode Island, though, to go and get a win? Lexington coming back at home, a possession-type team in front of their fans, wanting to show off that talent. And then Rhode Island comes inside, gets very stubborn defensively, picks their points on where they're going to press and who they're going to use the outlet, JJ Williams too, when they do win that press. And everything has just worked to perfection. 100% so far. Perfect ploy.
And they've certainly addressed some of those issues with not being aggressive enough in front of goal, not really going after certain opportunities, the overplay maybe at times in and around the 18. Certainly Sanchez and Quizera have been aggressive when they've gotten the ball in and around the edges of the area.
And their two number 10s, an Argentine and a Brazilian, haven't hit stride as yet. P.T. Rodriguez and Alfonso. What happens when they start getting their sea legs?
That just rolled over the end line on the far side, so it's going to be a goal kick for Rhode Island.
Now, if you're Rhode Island, you don't want to take any chances here. You're going to come out wide to this near side, and everyone fight for the ball to the sidelines here. In case the ball is given away, you're nice and compact in the middle of the park. Oh, switching sides. Well, the far side.
Well, Vegas does find a teammate out there, and it's a chance to play in a fellow teammate in Rodriguez, who has stood up. Green and company are able to keep it on the far side. Here's Malloy. A switch for Hafferty. Now Marcus Epps. Epps trying to get the step on Nodarse, who's having none of it. Another brilliant defensive recovery.
The Cuban is so strong defensively. He's physical, and he's such in command, Sean, of his tackling. He's not reckless. His positioning is fantastic.
Looked like Epps just threw himself to the ground there, but it appears that he's won a free kick. Certainly, Nodarse didn't appreciate the referee's decision there. But Mac Hemi and the Lexington technical area were really, really calling out for that to be given, and the referee obliges. We only got a quick glimpse of that, but it looked like Epps really tried to buy that. And this time,
Nodarse did everything right. He put his body in between Epps and the ball. He never got beaten. He matched Epps stride for stride.
Well, can Lexington take advantage? It's going to be Malloy, who puts into a really dangerous area. It could fall for Epps here, but Nodarse gets his head to it, and it's cleared up field. Headed back down towards Hafferty. Hafferty into the middle. Vegas got enough onto it, and then Bacharach clears. Not out of the woods yet. Spoon into the middle. Header away by Williams. Booted away by Williams on the follow-up.
I tell you what, Koke Vegas, the quiet leader is so good. We talk about technique with strikers taking shots on goal. That is technique by a goalkeeper making himself large.
Lovely ball out to this near side. Epps is going to get there. Epps waits for green and black shirts to emerge. He loops it into the middle. Jope and Sanchez just keep it in order to clear it. Picked back up by Green. And Green's ball nearly finds Malloy, but it's won back by Rhode Island. They play their way through. JJ Williams has a chance here to go 1v1. Hafferty tries to recover. Williams barrels him over. Plies a plate into the middle, it's blocked. Williams into the middle for Rodriguez. Oh, and the shot is saved by Zemle. Lexington thought there should have been a foul. Rhode Island can't take advantage of the shot.
JJ Williams had possession. He had every right to shoulder off the defender because he had control of the ball. His arms would not extend. It was shoulder to shoulder, but he ran out of speed. He ran out of gas, and that allowed Lexington to get back into play and nullify that attack. He's a target man. He's not the type of forward to take advantage of space. Koke Vegas, the quiet leader, Sean. No one talks about him, and that's why. He does everything right. Nothing spectacular. Everybody go back home. There's nothing to see here. And J.J. Williams, he lays it back eventually for Pity Rodriguez, but he had no position to get any sort of strength on the shot.
We've talked about how Pity Rodriguez has struggled at times just to hit the target, maybe rushing or trying to overdo it a bit. That was lovely in the natural flow of the action.
I mean, he has talent, he has skill.
No question.
He has great coordination. It's just once that ketchup starts coming out, then it's never going to get back in.
We're being told that Cano Smith is getting a change ready here. We'll get to that. Well, possibly here. Brandon Stevis has stopped the action as Lexington have the throw. Well, unfortunately for Pity Rodriguez, that's going to be his last action of the night. And he'll be replaced by Noah Fuson. That's going to be Rhode Island's first change of the night.
Well, Noah Fuson, an energetic midfielder / forward. He presses very well. That's one of his strengths. So that's why Coach Smith, and he wants his little Argentine to get going. All smiles.
Well, based on the Cano Smith body language there, he looked encouraged by what Pity Rodriguez provided, and rightly so.
He understands once he gets going, he's going to be one of the keys to this team's success.
From the throw-in, Rhode Island again do well defensively to handle the situation. Fuson tries to help to turn it into a counter-attacking move here. Leo Alfonso holds up the play, finds Sanchez.
Little bit of game management right now for Rhode Island. Of course, don't go into a shell, but the passes have to be a little less risky, more side to side.
Lexington do win this back. Hafferty from Epps.
Can't say enough of him. I can't speak enough of Nodarce.
He does it again.
Positioning is fantastic. His physicality is great. His speed shown. That's three boxes ticked.
And he wins the goal kick on the back end to stop Hafferty in the move entirely.
And he's more than solid when the ball is at his feet to play out of the press.
Well, Lexington Sporting Club is thrilled to offer Little Kickers, a nationally acclaimed youth soccer program built for children ages 18 months to 9 years. Sessions are now live. Sign up at lexsporting.com/youth. 12 minutes into the start of the second half, the scoreline remains unchanged. We've seen some more positive moves from Lexington, but the same stout defending from Rhode Island to keep it at a 2-0 lead, at least for now. Vegas just serves it towards Williams, who tries to nudge it down for Alfonso. That was the right idea.
And you can forgive J.J. Williams all day long if he ran out of speed to make the most of that counter-attack, because what he does as a target man is provide that outlet and, of course, finishing in the 18-yard box.
More good Rhode Island pressure leads to a Zemle clearance out for a Rhode Island throw. You're seeing more and more encouragement coming from the Rhode Island technical area. They're loving what they're seeing here.
And they need a score like this. If they get this and they take this to go back home, I mean, this is going to push them on for weeks on end with momentum.
We said coming into the game, both teams had a chance to make this sort of a turning point game in their respective seasons. Certainly Rhode Island, to this point, have taken that to heart. Cano Smith has pushed all the right buttons so far tonight. Williams with the long throw. Flick towards the edge of the area. Dado Kuhn, he's able to get it clear for Lexington. Job will reset.
Well, just about 30 minutes to go. We talked about not going into a shell, but still there needs to be some game management. Koke Vegas's pass from out to the back have to be pinpoint. And he's going to win a free kick again. The distribution by Vegas, 10 out of 10.
More Lexington frustration this time from Arturo Ordonez, former Pittsburgh and Louisville standout. J.J. Williams just continues to be a handful, as he always is for opposition players.
Well, it's never easy to be the striker. More often than not, you're icing your knees, icing your ankles and your cheekbones. You take a lot of hits from centre-backs. It is a thankless job sometimes.
Bacharach, lovely turn to find J.J. Williams again, who muscles off a challenge. Here is Quizera. Rhode Island would love to land a knockout punch here right around the hour mark if they can. Holstead forced to go back to Nodarse, who retreats over the halfway line.
Credit to Lexington, but Rhode Island won't mind. You're up 2-0. Bring Lexington out. Let's spread the field, and let's get some corridors to move the ball through the middle of the park.
Nodarse.
So comfortable. Look at that. Wins the free kick.
With ease.
Under the press. Modern day football is a lot of pressing. Your defender can play out of the press. He's going to earn a lot of money.
Cano Smith told us earlier this week he's looking for players to play in multiple positions. There's going to be possible injuries that pop up. If anyone exemplifies that in this Rhode Island team, it's Frank Nodarse. He could play multiple spots on the field, and he seems to be just as impactful for Cano Smith in each of those positions.
The ultimate Swiss Army knife.
Here is Jacob Green weaving in and out of challenges here, trying to provide a spark for Lexington. It's played up ahead for Philip Goodrum. Goodrum gets the shot away. Oh, fabulous save. Coque Vegas at full stretch to thwart Lexington's number 9. It's out for a corner.
Well, the quiet leader is making a lot of noise. Coque Vegas at his very best. A big save 5 minutes ago. And Philip Goodrum, with all that emotion shown, has been building up to this moment. He gets off a cracker, and Vegas matches his shot with an incredible acrobatic save. What about the strong punch as well?
It's out for a Commonwealth Credit Union corner for Lexington. Another high arcer into the mix. It's Bacharach who wins the header, and Rhode Island clears just about.
An educated clearance too. Gives them enough time to get their white shirts and get back their defensive posture. Look at J.J. Williams coming up now to pick up their defensive shape.
This is looped over the top. Nodarse again wins the header, and the offside flag was up anyway. Free kick for Rhode Island. Fans visit lexsporting.com to shop at the Lexington SC team store, your one-stop destination for all of the latest LSC gear and official merchandise. Visit lexsporting.com.
Do we start to posture for the most unpopular player of the match, Nodarse?
There's certainly quite a few candidates, but Nodarse has certainly put his name in that category. More frustrations here from Lexington. Kendall Burks just drags J.J. Williams to the ground and is rightly yellow carded.
He's another candidate, J.J. Williams, in getting the player of the match. He's done all the dirty work for this Rhode Island team, allowing them to maneuver the ball up the field, get past Lexington's press. They build their attack through the number 9. A bit of a WWE roll at the end, but we'll take it.
I believe that's the first yellow card of the match, brought to you by Hicks and Funson. It seems like, we kind of mentioned this earlier, and those that follow Rhode Island will know this well. Anytime Rhode Island in the Cano Smith era have reached an impasse, an hour of need, J.J. Williams always seems to stand up and be counted. And in this early, maybe harsh to call it an impasse in Rhode Island's early season, but some questions have been asked about the finishing and about the overall play of Rhode Island to this point. No surprise that J.J. Williams has been one of the players that's gone and answered all the questions in the affirmative.
Strong mentality, but he went through his bumps and bruises in his career. He went to some places where he didn't show that much effort, and that was addressed. And he took that advice, he took those knocks, and now brought it all together in Rhode Island, and he's having the time of his life.
Has an assist tonight. Former Phoenix player, Rowdies, Tulsa, Birmingham, Atlanta United, where he appeared briefly in MLS, Birmingham again before that, Columbus, Crew as well. The fit with Cano Smith and Rhode Island, for the most part, again, there's been injuries and things of that nature, but it's been a match made in heaven, just about.
And do I yet see again, when his 2 number 10s begin to find their legs?
Who knows, right, what
Alfonso
the ceiling could be.
And Rodriguez, what happens then?
Well, Rhode Island will hope quite a lot of good things. This cross takes a deflection. Zemle is able to collect for Lexington. About 26 minutes plus stoppage time left for Mac Hemmy's men to make their move 2-0 down.
Yeah, we talked about Malloy being suffocated. Hey, look at how deep Malloy is in front of his own box. Rhode Island will absolutely live with him being in his own defensive third and trying to maneuver the ball.
Touched forward by Hafferty. Tries to delicately weight this over the top. Clay Holstead is there at the expense of a throw-in back to Lexington.
So much industry. Clay Holstead does not stop running.
Hafferty again. Can Lexington unlock this Rhode Island stout back line and defensive unit? Here is Jacob Green. Adedokun on the far side goes head-to-head with Sanchez. Takes him to the byline, and the cross into the middle is from Marcus Epps, blocked away. Handball appeals come in from Lexington. Brandon Stevis not interested.
As basic as you can get to the byline, cross it to the last post. Marcus Epps did everything right. He used fantastic technique to keep it on goal. Again, Rhode Island just committed with Mr. Nodarse at the back, throwing his body in front of the ball and keeping this scoreline at 2-0. Get to the byline, Sean. Don't overthink it. And look at Epps. Did everything right here. And with Darcy and knee to his face with the ball. Again, right place at the right time.
That's what led to Nodarse being on the ground. But based on his smiles there, he looks to be okay. He's had a wonderful performance. Again, remember, he was already Team of the Week last week in the USL Championship, making another case for it again tonight. Bacharach maybe leaves a little extra on Goodrum. He wanted the foul. Referee lets it play on with Lexington in possession here. Adedokun trying to cut and feed that into the middle. Guess who? Nodarse there again. Was there a push in the back? Yes. The referee spots that and gives a free kick to Rhode Island. Well, cheers to local beer. West 6 Brewing is proud to be the official craft beer of LSC. Proud and find their locally crafted beers around the state of Kentucky. Go to west6.com, visit one of their dynamic tap rooms, and learn more about Stadium Ale, the official craft beer of Lexington Sporting Club.
Possession count shown 67 or 65 to 35, let's say. Again, everything going according to plan to Rhode Island. Go ahead and have the ball. You be the instigator, we'll be the spoiler.
It's like Hafferty fouls Quizera there. That was something we were talking about off air. Plan A for Lexington has been well neutralized by Rhode Island. So what is plan B going to be? We saw maybe hints of it of crossing into the middle and trying to get down the opposite bylines and things of that nature.
They're so compact defensively. That's what the space is. Epps and company, they have to use the space out there to create something.
Could be a chance here for Rhode Island. Oh, it's a wonderful finish for number 3. That is a sparkler from Leo Afonso. And Cano Smith's men may have landed a knockout punch here in Kentucky. It's the Brazilian's first goal for Rhode Island, and it's sensational.
He's been asking the question, Sean, since the first half. He's been adventurous, and look at the technique. Just to tuck it into the last post. Didn't take a touch, Sean. Didn't ask for permission. Thank you very much. 3-0. Tell you what, he didn't look his best, even though tonight. But to get that ball in the back of the net for any footballer, I'm going to tell you that feeling for this Brazilian. He's going to go on and sleep well tonight, and he's going to look forward to practice on Monday morning.
Leo Afonso finally opens his account with Rhode Island. And the visitors are 3-0 up. That might be Leo Afonso's last contribution of the night.
What a last kick of the game, huh?
Seriously. Looks like Nick Scardina and Amos Shapiro-Thompson are going to come on. 2 of the 3 Rhode Island goal scorers depart. Quizera and Leo Afonso.
For Rhode Island FC in the
And by the way, on top of the performance, Cano Smith continues to look like a genius. He's pressing every single right button tonight. And with 21 minutes left, Rhode Island have rolled Lexington over.
He looks like a 2010 Jose Marino on his sidelines. Just amazing stuff. And I love Scardina. He's going to come in for Quizera on that far right-hand side. He's going to pick up a very good defensive positioning. And he has the legs to go forward on a counter-attack. Not as vicious as Quizera, but defensively sound. I love the thought process by Smith.
By the way, getting Amos Shapiro-Thompson back from injury and back into his squad is also good news for Rhode Island potentially moving forward as they gain more quality and more depth as well. And Lexington, well, they have been played off their own patch here, at least through 70 minutes. It's going to go out of play. Mac Hemi responds with a pair of Lexington changes here. Nick Firmino and Joe Hafferty are going to make way here. Malik Henry Scott and Javane Brown are going to enter here as Lexington have to climb a rather steep mountain if they are to get anywhere back into this game.
Well, Malik Henry Scott is a forward. He's direct. He has pace. He can run in behind the back line. But there is no space running behind the back line. Everything is being kept in front of the back three or back four for Rhode Island. So Henry is going to have to be at his very best, his agile best, to take players on, to get behind that back line.
Here is Scardina crossing it into the middle. That was dangerously close to J.J. Williams, but it's well cleared by Lexington.
Oh, what a ball.
Hold up play from Goodrum is solid. Adado Kuhn on the far side. Trying to get past Sanchez, who would not let him by. Well, soccer season is here, and SeatGeek is the official ticketing partner of the USL. Get all your USL tickets and more from the #1 ticketing site. SeatGeek is your ticket to great seats. Lexington take the free kick quickly here. It's pinned out to the far side again towards Adado Kuhn. Malloy for Ordonez. Now Ferry. Marcus Epps. Epps to the byline, great ball into the middle. And the header is going to go wide from Philip Goodrum, but that feels like the avenue Lexington need to go down more often.
Yeah, they have to use the far side with Adode Kuhn and Marcus Epps. But I love now they're going to a 4-4-2. Now they have two out-and-out attackers. Good delivery, and nothing much Goodrum could do with it there. Diop, of course, in his hip pocket. Would he let Goodrum go tonight? Would he take the keys off the shackles and said, allow Goodrum to lead the stadium tonight, Diop? Because right now he has him in his hip pocket.
It's been so impressive all the way around from Rhode Island, attacking-wise, defensively. Although here's a giveaway, Marcus Epps went for the spectacular when Lexington, frankly, just need to get one back.
Well, when the pressure's on, you start to try to get over-creative, and Marcus Epps just trying to make something happen from 35 yards out.
Again, we talked about how this game could have quite an impact on the Eastern and Western Conference standings, still early, of course, in the season. In the live table, Rhode Island would jump up 2 places in the East, and they'd be just 2 points back of the playoff line. Again, still very early on, but that's a lot better than being in 12th. They'll certainly be happy with that on the night. Lexington would potentially drop out of the top 8 and into 9th in the West. And again, there's still some late games that could see them even move further down the table, depending on how those games end up. Is it early? Yes. Does it still matter? Of course it does. Pressure there from Hugo Bacharach.
Oh, It's like a well-oiled machine. It's like watching Italy back in the 80s and Germany in the 90s. They're so cohesive right now, Rhode Island. And the lines are so nice and tight between the forwards, the midfield and the defense. They're not getting stretched. And if they get stretched here, look at the white shirts pour back now.
Can Lexington come up with something here? It's a lovely run. It's played into a dangerous area for Goodrum, who actually cuts it back into trouble there. There was multiple Rhode Island players there to block him off. Played back into the middle. It's an awkward clearance from Jope, and it's out for a Commonwealth Credit Union corner for Lexington.
I love the run by Henry to release Goodrum. The shot doesn't pay off, but you love Henry's directness. As for Diop, technique, technique, technique. You have to use the side of your foot there to hit the ball right back where it came from. You can't afford to splice. You might give Cookie Vegas a heart attack.
Ferry's delivery is going to be headed away by Bacharach. Adedo-kun back into the mix here. Oh, and the spinning shot goes wide in the end from Kendall Burks, of all people. Did his best Philip Goodrum impression.
Well, Burke is hanging around for the corner. The ball just sort of bubble around, and it falls kindly for the centre-back, who just hooks it wide.
Another Commonwealth Credit Union corner. In by Malloy, it's headed backwards. Chance to pick it up here from Brown. First time ball back into the middle, no Darce with a critical touch. And now can Rhode Island counterattack? They end up playing it back into Lexington's half. Zemley plays it in for Green, who settles it down. Well, can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XM-FC, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access on Tuesday nights. Plus your live matches from the USL, MLS, Premier League, and more, all on Sirius XM-FC 157. As that shot is saved by Vegas and the Sirius XM app. Koke continues to be wonderful, and it's out for a corner.
We talked about Hafferty and Green coming around the sides to provide that, to make use of that space. It was Green coming all the way around Sean to tuck that ball back into the spot of Goodrum and company. The fullbacks have to be exhausted and use all the way down the sides to find that space.
Another corner for Lexington. And it's Holstead this time who gets the header. It's not away yet, but out of the 18-yard box. On the follow-up here, chance to maybe get a cross away, and, well, Sanchez just slams the door shut on Philip Goodrum.
Sometimes they have too many ideas in the attacking third. Philip Goodrum had 2 black shirts on top of the 18-yard box. Keep it simple, Sean. Let's get a good sequence. Let's get execution.
Talked about so far the home form for Lexington, one of every result. They did have 2 clean sheets along the way at home so far, but they're staring a second home defeat of the season and a 3rd overall right down the barrel here at the moment. 3 different goal scorers for Rhode Island. Quizera, Leo Afonso, and then it all started with Aldair Sanchez back in the 21st minute. Played out to the far side for Noah Fuson. I think the only way the night could get any better for Rhode Island is if Fuson got on the score sheet. Another player who's just been trying to get back into his old form.
I don't think it can get better. The fact that Afonso got on that score sheet tonight, that 3rd goal.
Big deal.
I mean, Coach Smith will be jumping over the moon tonight to see his Brazilian get going.
Like you hinted at earlier, could be the first of many, potentially, for Leo Afonso, and hopefully for Rhode Island's sake, the group as a whole.
I mean, we're talking about former MLS type player. He can go wide, he can play in the center with Rodriguez.
This is played in behind for Epps. And no Darce is able to clear it. It's a reset here, Ordonez. Malloy over the top.
Good try.
Nearly played a wonderful ball, but the offside flag was up, and frankly, Koke Vegas was always going to get there first.
It was Andre Pirelesque, but this Rhode Island team has kept everything in front of them. And Koke Vegas is reading the game so nicely now that when his defense, when one does get through the cracks, he's right there to clean up.
This is out of play, and it looks like Lexington are going to make a change here. It is going to be Tyrek Scott who comes in, and Michael Adedokun is going to make way. It just didn't quite happen for Adedokun tonight. The former North Texas standout in the FC Dallas system, Tyrek Scott, is in for Lexington.
Just 20 years old, raw talent shown. Why not give him 10 minutes to just unleash wrath on that right-hand side and see if he can create something, maybe not to tie the game up tonight, but to carry something over into the next match next week.
eFootball is here. Live your dream, rep your team, play as your favorite USL Championship club. eFootball is free to play. Download now.
Every single week on Tuesdays and Thursdays on eFootball, new players are presented for the public to either purchase with money or with coins that you've earned through playing matches. So every Tuesday and Thursday is like a fest, and you get legends of the game, players like Van Basten and Maradona and Ruud Gullit, or you have newer players who have done well during the week. The player of the week in the USL Championship, the player of the week in Spain will be presented on either Tuesday or Thursday for you to acquire on your team in eFootball.
I'd imagine that you've built quite a few impressive teams
I've
using
built
this strategy.
all the legends, Sean. All the legends, from Oliver Kahn and goal, from Roberto Carlos at left back, Maldini, Franco Baresi, all of the legends of the game. Franz Beckenbauer is my holding midfielder.
Wow.
Talk about class. Centre forward Romario from Brazil.
Oh, why am I not surprised that you've managed to put together another stalwart
Hours
11?
upon hours, Sean. My thumbs are sore just talking about it.
Heading into the final 8 minutes plus stoppage time here. Here is Marcus Epps. There's the diagonal ball over the top. Good defensive work initially by Karifa Yao. Could still fall for a Lexington chance here. The header is kicked towards the edge of the area. Fuson's header forward. Lexington reset with Malloy. Malloy for Epps. Epps into the middle. Back for Malloy. And then for Epps. And the save from Vegas.
Never really got behind the back line all night long. Never really took a good look at Koke Vegas and tested him, because Rhode Island have been so compact centrally and they have not made use of the sides. When they come through the middle, the white shirts have kept the ball in front of them, and Koke Vegas have had little powder puffs, Sean. The kind of powder puff your mom used to put on her face before she goes out. Little shots like that to Koke Vegas.
Bacharach wins that back. JJ Williams tries to beat Oliver Zemle, who's able to get back in time.
Love it. We saw Goodrum a little while ago in the first half, trying to test the keepers from afar. Now JJ Williams with that same number 9 instinct. Take it while you have it. Try it.
To be fair, JJ Williams is looking for his first regular season goal of the campaign, but he's done so much else to impact the game. That's as if he's already scored a few goals. I mean, that's
his coach is in love with him. His coach is in love with him.
So valuable.
With not a goal under his belt in the championship. So young strikers at home, remember there's so much more to the center forward position.
Epps does well, but the cross again is blocked away. Rhode Island well positioned defensively. Brown for Ordonez. Chance for Lexington to try to cross this into the middle. Sanchez gets in the way of it. It's recovered again towards Epps, and Nodarse again. Is Frankie on the spot. Now then, on the turn, Blaine Ferry plays a lovely ball out to the far side. Into the middle for Green, it's in! In off the post from Jacob Green. And Lexington have 5.5 minutes to try and pull off a comeback here. 3-1.
They've pushed their fullbacks forward, which we were hoping they would do in the second half. But the press pays off. But the space is out wide, Sean. When they go out wide over here, now they can create. And Green has pushed all the way from right back to support his midfielders. And that one tucks just inside the post. The finish was absolutely immaculate. And the ball by the young Scot was amazing. Raw talent from the outside, and Green pushing up from right back. And what a finish for the defender.
It's Jacob Green's first USL Championship goal for Lexington. They have 5 minutes to get 2 more. Signs of late life for Mac Hemmy's group.
And credit to this Lexington crowd. The drums, Sean, have played the entire night while they were down 3-0. And now it's 3-1 with a chance, and the drums still keep playing.
Rhode Island will be frustrated not to get the clean sheet, but they still have to negotiate the last 5.5 minutes in stoppage time. Scardina. Back for Nodarse. Could that goal be a little bit of a shock to the Rhode Island system here? Vegas through the lines. And then it's a wasteful ball by Ordonez that allows Vegas to take some time off the clock.
And Vegas is such a shrewd goalkeeper. He's going to manage the game to the last second. And of course, his distribution is second to no one in this league.
USL Championship and League One are on CBS Sports and ESPN platforms all season long. Catch live matches and expert analysis on Golazo Network and ESPN Plus. Oh, and Lexington are in again here. Oh, and Vegas denies Goodrum. That came out of absolutely nowhere, and Rhode Island are let off the hook. Scardina putting pressure on Ordonez. Semley has to play out here. Rhode Island's press nearly lead to another takeaway. Moments after Lexington were nearly given a path back into the game.
Their first chance to get behind the back line, Sean, for the entire night. And guess who shows up? El Capitan is waiting for them for another spectacular save.
Here come Rhode Island again. It's laid off for Sanchez. Holstead for Noah Fuson. And it flies over the top and out of play.
Well, Philip Goodrum is buying his time. That was a back pass. He can't be offside. He has Koke Vegas dead red. Not so fast, my friend. Making himself large, taking away all the angles. And to be fair to Goodrum, he didn't give himself much of an angle. He ran straight at Koke Vegas. He could have pulled to the side and given himself a better angle to finish on Vegas. But again, the Spaniard coming up trumps.
2 changes for Rhode Island. Logan Dorsey in for J.J. Williams. Grant Stoneman in for Hugo Bacharach. And that leaves Cano Smith with no changes left. Just to put a period on the last ad read there, USLChampionship.com, USLLeague1.com for the USL TV listings. As Vegas again has to come up with an acrobatic save. Nodarse fouled on the back end. And we continue to have some chaotic moments down the stretch here.
Well, they're taking an advantage down the sides. This time it's Green, the goal scorer. What a delivery. I mean, they caught Koke Vegas by surprise. But that's where the space is, especially on that right-hand side with Scott and Green. They're starting to make the most of that space because of their pace on that right-hand side.
Where would we be right now if Philip Goodrum had been able to beat Koke Vegas there? To be a completely different game right now. There's still time for Lexington. They're hoping a decent chunk of stoppage time will be added on here. How quickly things could have changed. And speaking of Jacob Green, he's going to be withdrawn here. And Xavier Zenge, who's had a promising start to the season, scored last time out for Lexington against Colorado Springs. Could he be a late difference maker here?
Yeah, he's an athletic defender. He can get up and down the pitch to turn defense into attack in a second.
Well, the only tough part now for Lexington is there going to be enough time left? At the moment, it feels like Lexington will need still a minor miracle.
Especially against a Rhode Island team that's playing so stingily.
It's played down the line by Kendall Burks. And then it's behind Malloy. And it could be a chance for Rhode Island to break. There's the foul, a professional foul at that. Arturo Ordonez is going to pick up a yellow card, it looks like, as we enter 4 added minutes.
Sometimes defenders get the worst end of the tackle, and Ordonez is a brave defender. He understood exactly what he had to do. As soon as he was dribbled past, it was open season on the last defender, so Ordonez is taking one for the team. So the last defender would have to put that tackle in and get a red card.
Burks and Ordonez have received the only 2 yellow cards so far tonight. Vegas comes forward to pin it to the edge of the area. It's over Nodarse's head. It's a goal kick.
And you don't mind that. Safe and sound. Everybody get behind the ball now. Get back your defensive posture. They have to bring the ball back all the way back from their own 18-yard box. You don't mind for Coach Smith. That's nothing, no problem with that at all, with that set piece.
Here is Epps.
Again, the space down the side, Sean, being exploited.
Epps again has to deal with Nodarse, tries to dig out the cross. Good clearance away by Karifa Yao. Out for a throw-in, it's taken quickly. Blaine Ferry double teamed here. And then was there a foul or is it a throw-in here? It's gonna be a free kick for Lexington. Brown pushed from behind. And from where we're standing here, Lexington have to score from this to have any chance. Ferry leaves it up to Malloy. Malloy pins it into the area. It's gonna go past everybody. Did take a nick on the way through. Zenge tries to track it down and commits a foul. And that'll likely be a foul that allows Rhode Island to get over the finish line first.
Yep, now they win a free kick. They're gonna slow things down. Koke Vegas is gonna come across. And this Rhode Island team, it's been a very professional performance, a lot of discipline defensively. When you're the person reacting to somebody who is instigating, it is very tiring. You have to be on point for a long period of time. And Coach Smith has done a fantastic job in putting together a game plan, stifling Malloy, stifling Firmino, stifling Ferry, and allowing Epps to try to be the instigator and the creative playmaker.
Well, Zemle, he dwelled on that a bit. Just plays it out. Played for Marcus Epps on the near side. Epps again needs to get this into the middle. When he does, get it right onto the boot of Goodrum. Oh, another fabulous block laid on here from Rhode Island. Hamady Jope sends it out for a corner, and again, Philip Goodrum cannot score.
Well, Jope is going to be in Goodrum's dreams all night tonight. Everywhere he turns, there's number 32. Nowhere to go. And the shackles have not yet been released by Diop on Goodrum.
Commonwealth Credit Union corner into the mix here. Great header away by Stoneman. Picked up by Malloy. Is there time for maybe one more bit of service? Zemle's all the way up to help. Back from Malloy. Malloy clips it into the middle. It's gonna bounce all the way through. Goal kick. And game over. Rhode Island comes to Kentucky and gets their first win of the season in resounding fashion. Cano Smith's men win it by 3-1. It's a second home defeat of the season for Mac Hemi and Lexington. Rhode Island finally are in the win column in the USL Championship in 2026. It feels like a game that could turn them right back around in the early weeks and months of the championship season.
And it all starts with their foundation, defensive posture, defensive positioning, and they use that attribute to then create attacks. And to be fair, Sanchez with a terrific goal. Quizera got some help by Zemle. With those 2 goals, putting them in the driver's seat. And Alfonso getting that 3rd goal is bigger than you think.
Just what the doctor ordered for Rhode Island. They come to Lexington and they put together a statement performance for their first win of the campaign. 3 different goal scorers along the way. Lexington had a bit of a late flurry, but it certainly was too little, too late as Mac Hemi's men go back to the drawing board. But for Rhode Island, it puts them 2 spots higher in the East and finally puts them on 3 points for the first time in the league this season. We'll step aside and we'll wrap it all up next from Kentucky.
This is where worry turns into relief. Where confusion turns into answers. This is where your family can turn to the experts for the big things and the little things. Extraordinary care is right here. UK Healthcare, the power of advanced medicine.
This isn't just a soccer match. It's a movement that brings the city together, brings it to its feet. The noise.
Wind up effort. Oh my goodness!
The energy.
It is Firmino!
90 minutes where nothing else matters.
How about a debut goal for Lexington?
It's the year of the horse. Our year.
Eps inside. Benton!
Be there when it happens.
Lexington Sporting Club isn't just a team, it's your club. That's why you need the LSC credit and debit cards only from Commonwealth Credit Union. With your LSC card, you get exclusive discounts on tickets, merch, and get to celebrate your club with every swipe or tap. Show your Lexington Sporting Club pride and gear up with the ultimate fan accessory, only from Commonwealth Credit Union. Here, we see you differently.
Sean St. Jacques, Ryan Davis back here with you. All smiles for Rhode Island in Kentucky tonight. They beat Lexington by 3-1, and they finally get their first regular season win on the board, and they did it in quite some fashion. Chance to recap things with the full-time highlights here. Lot to get to in what turned into a 4-goal thriller. We start with Rhode Island's pressure leading to offense.
Yeah, Petit Rodriguez coming back doing his defensive work. What about Sanchez? What a coach loves in the attacking third, Sean? Bravery. And the left back delivers a peach after Rodriguez and him show that defensive posture. And the left back pays off with a fantastic strike to put them in stride.
That was Sanchez's first ever league goal for Rhode Island. It would be followed by a second goal from Quizera to make it 2-0.
Bravery, turning away from 3 players, releasing Quizera straight through the wickets. But JJ Williams creating that space was something special for the man who's now a scorer, Quizera, rather than a provider.
That felt like the big turning point in the first half. 2-0 instead of 1-0. Carry things over into the second half. More good play from Rhode Island.
JJ Williams again. Flicks the ball to the sides. Alfonso says, thank you very much. I'll just tuck this in from 25 yards out and side-footed it into the back of the net. Leo Messi-like to make it 3-0 to get my first goal of the season.
Splendid finish from Alfonso to kind of make it a knockout punch for Rhode Island. But give Lexington credit. They scored one. They could have had another.
Well, it finally pays off. They go out wide, and the young Scot making use of the space, swings it across, and Green, the right back, comes all the way up. Nobody picks him up. But look at the finish by Green. It actually kisses the post. Nothing Koke Vegas can do with that. They finally get behind the back line and they make them pay.
A first league goal for Jacob Green, just a consolation in the end. As for the most part tonight, Rhode Island, as we look at the full-time match stats, they had the perfect game plan, and it was just about perfectly executed.
And we feasted. 24 shots for the night. You and I enjoyed every second of it. Rhode Island set the tone defensively. Like I said, took that defense, turned it into attack. Lexington, they wanted to play in front of their fans. They did everything right, but they bounced up against a team that did even more right than they did in the 90 minutes.
Goals galore, really, in all the games so far tonight in the USL Championship, and this game was certainly no exception. In the end, for the most part, a dominating performance from Rhode Island. Late flurry from Lexington ends up not being enough. But Cano Smith's men, under a little bit of pressure early on in this season, respond ever so well here in Lexington, Kentucky tonight. They win it by 3-1 as Lexington head back to the drawing board in the early days of this Western Conference playoff chase. For Ryan Davis and our entire crew, I'm Sean St. Jacques. So long from Kentucky. A resounding Rhode Island win gets them back on track in 2026.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.